Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and today is going to be a little bit different in terms of videos. But I want to kind of show you that this is a slightly different format, but I want to try to go into this a little bit just to kind of show you, get more educational purposes and kind of get out a little bit into there. But what we're seeing here is a woman that has completely destroyed this activist against what they deem as healthcare or whatever for transgender people. They have horrendously been lying, and we've all known they've been lying, right? This is not really a surprise to us. They've been lying, they've been butchering and murdering kids, etc., into every regard. And I say murder in the sense of whenever a kid goes through this transition and then they die, that should be automatically a murder. No matter how long it is eventually a murder because you are killing this person. If they have committed suicide, they have murdered this person. Plain and simple. And they have a lot of death on their hands. And we're going to also be going over how much has risen over the time. And I'll be keeping tabs this time point because I've never even been keeping tabs. But yeah, without further ado, guys, here is the clip of this doctor destroying this legitimate activist.
To respond to Dr. McNamara. First, I'm struck by her use of the phrase sex assigned at birth. Sex is not assigned at birth. Sex is established at conception, and it's recognized at birth, if not earlier. Dr. McNamara claims that her views are science-based, but to claim that sex is assigned at birth is without any scientific basis whatsoever. Its language misleads people, especially children, into thinking that male and female are arbitrary designations and can change. That is simply not true. Dr. McNamara claims that social and medical interventions are the only evidence-based treatment and that scientific evidence shows it is life-saving. Without it, she's warning us, kids will commit suicide. Well, a growing number of countries have effectively banned the care to which she's referring. And thank God there's been no wave of suicides or other mental health catastrophes. 3 years ago, Finland placed strict limitations on medical interventions for minors. Sweden did the same thing after a 14-year-old girl was found to have osteoporosis and spinal fractures from puberty blockers. An investigation concluded, quote, the risks of anti-puberty and hormone treatment for those under 18 currently outweigh the possible benefits. The UK conducted a review and called the evidence very low. They've also placed severe restrictions on the care that Dr. McNamara calls life-saving. Norway also analyzed the data and has made similar changes in policy. The National Academy of Medicine in France warned, quote, great medical caution must be taken in children and adolescents, given the vulnerability of this population and the many undesirable, even serious complications the therapies cause. Doctors in New Zealand and Australia have published similar statements. Is Dr. McNamara suggesting that all these countries are rejecting evidence-based treatment and placing their kids at risk of suicide? Regarding that point of view, Finland's gender expert, Dr. Rita Kaltiela, said, quote, it's purposeful disinformation, the spreading of which is irresponsible. All 7 countries, and Florida too, of course, concluded that kids don't need their development interrupted, the girls don't need their periods stopped and their voices lowered, and the boys don't need to grow breasts. What they need is psychotherapy. I have other objections to Dr. McNamara's testimony. She insists that her position, only hers, represents standard medical care. What she doesn't want you to know is that there is no standard. There's a debate. There's a fierce debate. And on the side opposite her stand such prominent figures as Stephen Levine, Kenneth Zucker, Paul McHugh, and James Cantor, among others. These doctors are giants in the field. They have been treating transgender patients and gathering data and publishing papers about them, and I mean no disrespect here, but since before Dr. McNamara was born. The point is that those veteran clinicians and others who have wisdom and experience are ignored because they disagree with the current narrative. They're against medical interventions for the same reason those 7 countries are. There is no evidence of long-term benefit, but there is evidence of harm. I'll end by quoting Jamie Reed, the courageous whistleblower from the Children's Gender Clinic in St. Louis. I believe that that hospital receives the medical education funding that we're discussing today. She said that doctors at that clinic said, "We are building the plane while we are flying it." We are building the plane while we are flying it. That's how they described the treatment at their gender clinic. Our precious tax dollars should not support such a perilous experiment. Thank you.
And there you have it. You have this person completely destroying this person's narrative in every single regard. And that's the fact that these people these activists want to go after children and do all these atrocities onto them. And this woman is right. The multiple other countries, and I think even growing countries, is what's going to be it's going to be, in the next couple of years, going to be pushing this out. And the transitioners are going to be coming, and it's getting bigger. What we're seeing now is the destruction of the trans movement trying to coming forward. The LGBT community, which is a lesbian, gay, bi community, is not going along with this. You people are disgusting. You people are monsters. And even the gay people do not want nothing to do with this. You're hijacking a term so that way you guys can seem that you're on the good side when you're not. That's not the reality that you're living in. Or that's not something that you should be doing. This is the reality that we're facing and what we're dealing with. Now, we have other crazy stuff that's happening here as well. This is the Detransgenders Reddit. Now, we go here every once in a while to kind of see on how often this is updated. And what I will do here is that I will do this, because I think people need to start seeing what's really going on. I think, okay, this is going to actually go in. It's okay, there we go. So, as you guys can see, if you look this over here, this is at 41.8.7. The last time I may believe we looked at this was around 46K. It went up by almost 2K. So, that being said, this is growing and it's getting bigger. This was created in November 14th, 2017. Everything when this started to, happen. Of course, this was very, 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 very small at that time, so obviously this wouldn't be happening. But what we're seeing here is that this is the Detransitioners Reddit, and it is growing. And there is nothing that these people can stop, because the more that this grows, the more that this force is going to be out. I think that these politicians need to take a look at this, huh? Because this is a staggering amount of people, and they need to listen to their stories. Okay, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.